Okay, this is part 1 of 4 on how to hold title in California. And this information is not legal advice. I am not your lawyer. We're just talking basics here, right? In California, there are 4 ways that you can hold title: tenants in common, joint tenants, community property, and community property with the right of survivorship. Each of those things is going to have their very own little video. This very first one is about tenants in common. Tenants in common is the only way that you can have a fractional interest in real estate. That fraction can be equal. Let's say you have 3 people that own property together. They can each own 1/3. That's no problem. But this is also the only opportunity that if you want to have unequal shares, as long as all of those shares equal 100, you can have whatever number it is. So let's say you have one person that's bringing in 70%. They can be a 70% owner, and the other two, how much are they going to share, guys? 15% each. That's right. 15 plus 15 is 30, plus 70 is 100. Okay? So you can have an unequal share, and this is the only opportunity when you own real estate with somebody else on title where it will reflect an unequal ownership. Okay? So that's the first big distinction of between what tenants in common are and the other 3 options that you have in California. That's the first big one, is that the proportional ownership can be different. The second one is all about inheritance. And you're like, why does that matter? Okay, so in tenants in common, there is no right of survivorship between the co-owners of the property. So 3 people on title, 1 person dies. What happens to their share? That depends on what? Depends on their estate planning. Do they have a will and a trust? Do they have a will? Do they have nothing? If they have nothing, the state of California will tell you who you're going to own this piece of property with. Because we have, it's called intestacy laws, that they say, when you die without a will or an estate plan with your will and your trust, we're going to tell you who's going to get all your stuff. And there's a whole list that goes down. Who's going to get it? So if one of your co-owners die, you're not just going to own the rest of the property with your other co-owner. You're going to own the property with whoever's inheriting from that third person's estate. That can be anybody. And when I say anybody, I mean people that you don't want to be there. You don't want to own property with their spouse. You don't want to own property with their kids who might be minors who are totally going to screw up whatever you've got going on in this property. Okay? So those are the 2 big distinctions for tenants in common: fractional ownership and inheritance. Who are you going to co-own the property with when someone dies? Okay, stay tuned. We're going to have 3 more parts of this where we talk about joint tenants, community property, and the community property with right of survivorship.